Ever bought something online, got excited for 2 days, and then completely forgot about it? Maybe it's still sitting in your closet with the tag on. Or maybe you're still making payments on something you didn't even really want in the first place. Yeah, we've all been there. But why does this keep happening? Why do we spend money on things we don't actually need, and sometimes don't even really want? That's what we're diving into today. The psychology behind our spending habits. And trust me, it's not just about willpower or budgeting apps. It's about understanding your brain. Let's break it down. Money decisions aren't always logical. In fact, they're often emotional, impulsive, and sometimes even irrational. That's because spending money doesn't just meet practical needs. It taps into our identity, our emotions, and our desire for connection, control, and even comfort. So today, we're going to explore what's going on under the surface. We'll talk about the hidden forces that drive us to buy things we don't need. From social pressure to emotional spending to the tricks marketers use to mess with our minds. And more importantly, we'll look at how to take back control, without guilt, without shame, and without feeling like you need to live in a cave to be financially free. Sound good? Let's go deeper. The emotional brain versus the logical brain. Let's start with this. When you're deciding to buy something, you're not just using logic, you're using emotion. The human brain has two systems that guide our decision-making. System 1 is fast, emotional, and instinctive. System 2 is slow, rational, and logical. When you're scrolling online and see those sneakers on sale, it's System 1 that says, "Ooh, they're on sale. You deserve this. Add to cart." System 2, that part of your brain might step in later and say, "Wait, do I even need these? Didn't I just buy a pair last month?" But by then, the order's already confirmed. Marketers know this. They target the emotional brain because emotions drive purchases way more than logic ever does. Retail therapy is real, but dangerous. Ever felt sad, stressed, or anxious, and ended up buying something to feel better? That's called emotional spending, and it's incredibly common. When we buy something, our brain releases dopamine, a feel-good chemical. It's a little reward, a hit of "yes, I did something." And that momentary high can actually relieve stress, boost mood, and distract us from uncomfortable emotions. But the problem? It doesn't last. The dopamine hit fades quickly, and sometimes we're left with guilt, regret, or debt. So we shop again to get that high back. It's a cycle, and understanding it is the first step toward breaking it. Social comparison and keeping up. Let's talk about status. We don't just buy things for utility. We buy to signal identity, to fit in, to stand out, to say something about who we are or who we want to be. That's why someone might buy a luxury handbag or the latest iPhone, even if their old one works just fine. Social media makes this worse. Every day, we're exposed to highlight reels of people traveling, dining, wearing designer clothes, and showing off success. Our brain takes that in and subconsciously thinks, if I buy like them, maybe I can feel like them. It's not just vanity, it's human psychology. We're wired to compare ourselves to others. The trick is recognizing when that comparison is leading us to spend money in ways that don't align with our actual goals. Scarcity and FOMO, fear of missing out. Ever seen phrases like "only 2 left" or "flash sale, ends tonight"? That's no accident. That's scarcity marketing. It creates urgency by making you feel like you might miss out if you don't act right now. And the fear of missing out, FOMO, is a real emotional trigger. It makes us feel anxious, pressured, and impulsive. So we hit buy, not because we need the product, but because we're afraid of not having it. Companies know exactly how to press these buttons. But when you slow down and breathe, you realize real needs don't expire at midnight. The illusion of control and self-image. Sometimes, we buy things to feel in control. When life feels uncertain or chaotic, spending can feel like a way to take back power. Like, I can't fix my job, my relationships, or my stress, but I can buy this fitness tracker and start over tomorrow. Other times, we buy to reinforce a version of ourselves we're trying to become. Habit loops and triggers. Another big driver? Habit. If you always reward yourself with a purchase after a stressful day, your brain forms a loop. That triggers stress, which compels you to shop to gain temporary relief. And the more you repeat it, the more automatic it becomes. You don't even think. You just act. The good news is, habits can be changed. The trick is to identify your triggers. Swap in a healthier action, like journaling, walking, or talking to a friend. Give yourself a reward that doesn't involve spending. It's not about deprivation, it's about rewiring. Marketers spend billions to understand one thing: you. They study your habits, your searches, your clicks. They design ads that don't just show a product. They sell you a feeling, a lifestyle, a better version of you. Buy this, and you'll be confident. Wear this, and you'll finally feel attractive. Subscribe to this, and you'll become productive and powerful. The product is just the bait. What they're really selling is transformation. But transformation doesn't come from stuff. It comes from consistent effort, internal growth, and time. The moment you realize that, their power starts to fade. So how do we spend smarter? Without becoming miserable or paranoid? Let's be real. We're all influenced by emotion, culture, and clever marketing. Nobody is immune. But that doesn't mean we're powerless. The more we understand the why behind our spending, the more freedom we gain to spend with intention, not impulse. And that's the goal. Not perfection, but progress. Not guilt, but growth. Because when you learn to master your money, you're not just saving dollars. You're saving your energy, your purpose, your time. You're building a life that's aligned with who you really are. Not just who the ads say you should be. So next time you're tempted to buy something you don't need, pause and ask yourself, is this serving the future I'm building? If the answer is yes, great. If not, that's okay too. You're learning, you're growing, and that's what matters. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If this helped you, share it with someone who could use it. And remember, your worth isn't in what you buy. It's in who you're becoming. Take care of your heart, your mind, and your money. We'll talk again soon.